Number 10. Goldberg's return. The last time fans had seen Goldberg was well back in 2004 after a disappointing match against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 20. So when Goldberg eventually returned in 2016, he had some unfinished business to attend to. Goldberg would instantly target Lesnar and the pair would face off at the 2016 Survivor Series. No one could have expected what could happen, as the match would be a complete squash, with Goldberg destroying Lesnar in only 86 seconds. Fans were left in shock, as Lesnar had been so dominant in the past and had never been seen in such a weakened position before. This would lead to a much more successful run for Goldberg within the company, and kicking things off with such a flash win left the fans shocked. Number 9. Brock Lesnar suffers his first loss. After Lesnar's debut in early 2002, he would go on a rampage, dominating the roster and put on an impressive undefeated streak, winning the King of the Ring tournament and capturing the WWE Championship by defeating The Rock at SummerSlam 2002. Lesnar was on a roll and would continue his reign all up until the Survivor Series of 2002, when he would go up against his biggest challenge yet, The Big Show. Going into the match, Paul Heyman would question if Lesnar could lift The Big Show, never mind beat him. But as the match unfolded, Lesnar would showcase his impressive strength and look to have the win in the bag, all up until Paul Heyman shocked the world and turned on Lesnar, siding with The Big Show and screwing the Beast out of the WWE Championship, ultimately handing him his first defeat in a move that no one saw coming. Number 8. The Undertaker defeats Hulk Hogan. At the 1990 Survivor Series, history was made when the Phenom The Undertaker made his iconic debut. However, only a year later at the 1991 Survivor Series, The Undertaker would face Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship in the main event. The Undertaker was dominant, even through the usual Hogan Hulk up, and a closing moment saw Ric Flair come out to help screw Hogan, placing a chair in the way for when The Undertaker tombstoned Hogan onto it to capture the win and his first ever WWE Championship. The fans' reaction was surprised and ecstatic, as Hogan rarely ever lost, especially a championship match, so when he did lose it was a big deal. The fans' mixed reaction showed how the era of the old Hogan was beginning to fade. Number 7. The Elimination Chamber debuts. The 2002 Survivor Series will go down in history as one of the event's all-time greatest installments, and as if our previous listing wasn't enough, the main event of the same show featured the debut of the first ever Elimination Chamber match. For weeks, Eric Bischoff, who was the Raw general manager, built up the hype for his new invention. He would place Triple H defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Shawn Michaels, Booker T, Kane, Rob Van Dam and Chris Jericho inside the steel structure. Fans and wrestlers alike were left stunned as the giant structure lowered itself around ringside, and as the match unfolded, fans would be treated to a brutal spectacle that they had never seen before. The original chamber was made completely out of iron and chains, meaning the steel grid on the outside was extra painful compared to the chambers of today. Triple H would even end up with a crushed throat due to a botched 5-star frog splash off the top of a chamber pod, and still managed to go on and finish the match, which saw Shawn Michaels pick up the win and make history, capturing the World Heavyweight title after a 4-year hiatus in a match that left the fans in awe. Number 6. Sting debuts. This is a moment many fans thought they would never ever see. Sting was the last big star to never work for Vince McMahon and the WWE. However, in 2014, Sting would appear on the WWE 2K games, leading many to wonder had the icon finally signed a deal with the WWE. As a huge main event unfolded at Survivor Series that year between Team Cena and Team Authority, the future of the WWE was in the balance, as the Authority's power and Cena's team's careers all being on the line. This match alone likely won Match of the Year in 2014 and was an exciting 45-minute war that saw upsets, shocks and cliffhangers. Just as it seemed Triple H was ready to screw Dolph Ziggler out of the win for Team Cena, the lights cut out and a mysterious theme played out throughout the arena. Then finally, the crowd erupted as Sting would appear, made his way down to the ring, hit a Scorpion Death Drop onto Triple H and helped Ziggler secure the win for Team Cena, finally putting an end to the Authority's reign of terror. This moment sent shockwaves throughout the wrestling world and was a moment no one ever thought they would see. Although unfortunately Sting's WWE career would be short, this moment alone goes down in history as one of the all-time greats. Number 5. Stone Cold gets ran over. Going into the 1999 Survivor Series, Stone Cold Steve Austin was the biggest star in the company and was scheduled to appear in the main event to face off against The Rock and Triple H in a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. However, in reality, Austin needed neck surgery from his previous injuries suffered in the ring, and WWE needed a way to write Austin off of TV, and at the 1999 Survivor Series created a major angle to write Austin off, and changed the main event to The Big Show versus The Rock and Triple H. In a backstage segment, Triple H would attack Austin, leading him to an empty parking lot, all until a set of headlights appeared and a speeding car headed towards Austin, running him over and speeding off from the scene. Vince, Stephanie and even Triple H himself would arrive on the scene, but the Texas Rattlesnake would be taken away in an ambulance and wouldn't be seen for 9 months, until he finally returned to conclude the mystery of who ran him over, which eventually turned out to be Rikishi, hired by Triple H, coining the infamous phrase, "I did it for The Rock." Number 4. CM Punk returns. In a moment that no one thought was possible, hell truly froze over, as nearly after 10 years, the straight-edge saviour CM Punk finally made his shock return to the WWE. Years prior, after Punk infamously walked out on WWE in 2014, he would badmouth the company and be involved in lawsuits due to disagreements and mishaps during his time there. Fast forward to 2023, and CM Punk was fired from AEW, leading many to speculate what could be the next move for the self-proclaimed best in the world. Rumours of him going to Impact Wrestling or New Japan were swirling. However, Triple H now having the majority of power within WWE, many thought that if Punk were to ever return, now would be the chance. The 2023 Survivor Series just so happened to be held in Chicago as well, and as the show went on, there was no mention of Punk. Then, as the main event came to an end, and the show looked to be going off the air, Punk's music would hit, sending wrestling fans worldwide into a nuclear frenzy. In one of the most unbelievable returns in wrestling history, this made headlines worldwide and even hit mainstream media. After years of turmoil and controversy, CM Punk had finally returned to the WWE, although Seth Rollins had other thoughts, losing his mind shouting abuse at Punk from ringside, after publicly having stated his dislike for Punk in the past. The moment blurred the lines between reality and the business, echoing the likes of the Montreal Screwjob, and now with Punk back on the biggest stage, the wrestling landscape has changed forever. Number 3. The Rock wins his first WWE Championship. Survivor Series 1998, the Deadly Games tournament for the vacant WWE Championship, is widely regarded as one of the best tournaments in WWE history. The booking was on form for this one during a chaotic time in the Attitude Era, and it seemed that a babyface Rock, who had gotten over with fans due to his over-exaggerated confidence, was a favourite in the tournament alongside Stone Cold Steve Austin. However, Vince McMahon's corporation at the time seemed to use every tactic they could to put the belt on Mankind by the end of the night. As the finals rolled around, Mankind and The Rock would face off. Fans were left shocked when Vince McMahon recreated the infamous Montreal Screwjob a year after the original incident, by ordering the bell to be rung when The Rock had Mankind locked in a sharpshooter, even though Mankind never tapped out. The Rock would embrace Vince and Shane McMahon, revealing he had been working with them all along, turning heel and being hailed as the corporate champion, before beating Mankind down. This would then evolve into one of wrestling's greatest ever rivalries, as The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin would contest multiple feuds throughout the following years, garnering groundbreaking results and untouched star power. Number 2. Winner takes all. WWE vs WCW and ECW. In 2001, after the WWE bought WCW, fans thought their dreams would come true and they would see the top stars from both companies finally face off. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case, as many top stars of WCW such as the NWO, Goldberg, Sting and Ric Flair wouldn't debut until after the Invasion storyline, when Shane McMahon bought out WCW in kayfabe from under Vince, and Stephanie bought ECW, the alliance between the two companies would aim to take down the WWE. Throughout the majority of 2001, this was the dominating storyline of the year, with only a few top stars from WCW and ECW trying to carry the story against the WWE, and even having to have WWE guys such as Stone Cold Steve Austin turn heel to join the alliance. It all came to a head though at the 2001 Survivor Series in a traditional 5-on-5 elimination match, where the losing side would be put out of business forever. Both sides were stacked with stars from each organisation. The match had a big fight feel, with such a high stipulation on the line, but Team WWE would eventually come out on top after some high stakes drama when Kurt Angle turned on Team WCW and helped The Rock pick up the win over Stone Cold at the very end. But the closing images of Vince McMahon throwing his arms in the air on top of the stage in victory was a defining moment in how wrestling changed forever and the death of WCW and ECW.
Number 1. The Montreal Screwjob.
In one of the most talked about and replayed moments in wrestling history, real-life issues backstage played out in real time in front of the world for everyone to see. With Bret Hart making the jump to WCW, Vince McMahon wanted Shawn Michaels to defeat Bret Hart in the main event of Survivor Series 1997 for the WWE Championship. However, with the show being held in Canada, the home of the Hitman, and a place where he was a national hero, Hart, backed by a creative control clause in his contract, refused to do the job and insisted on dropping the belt to Shawn Michaels at a later date. Vince didn't want to run the risk of Bret showing up on WCW television with the WWE title, so he took matters into his own hands to guarantee that Bret would lose the belt at Survivor Series. Originally, a run-in finish between DX and the Hart Foundation, leading to a no contest, was agreed upon by Bret, so whilst in the ring, he went about the match in his typical professional manner, unbeknownst to him that the predetermined layout to the match had been drastically altered. As Shawn placed Bret into the sharpshooter, his own finishing move, the referee Earl Hebner, who had been briefed by Vince McMahon earlier on, called for the bell to ring, crowning Shawn Michaels as the new WWE Champion. HBK would act confused and quickly left the arena, as Bret saw Vince at ringside and realised what had happened, completely trashing the ringside area and spitting at Vince in the face. In the months that followed, Vince McMahon tweaked his on-screen character to fall heel so he could revel in the hatred that greeted him in every arena, ultimately clashing with Stone Cold Steve Austin, which would turn out to be the hottest angle in wrestling history that went on to revolutionise the business.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more wrestling content.